A very good evening to everybody. So we are starting our session. Good evening to all of you. Myself, Gulgul Singh, warmly welcome you all to the 8th day of this 15-day international training cum workshop program on Agriculture 2.0, a next level approach towards sustainability, smart farming, and agri-innovation, embellished by the presence of dignitaries and respected personalities. This program has been organized jointly by Just Agriculture magazine and Agro Environmental Education and Farmers Welfare Society. The magazine has a readership of more than 1.05 lakh in India, which makes it a credible platform for the researchers, students, and scientists to share their ideas on the latest innovative topics. AEEFWS Society, on the other hand, aims at enhancing livelihood opportunities for more than 1 million farm households in the country. Now, taking the program to our next segment of the session, I would like to invite our guest of honor, Vice-Chancellor of 𝘣𝘦𝘴𝘵 𝘳𝘚 Dr. Bikash Chandra Singh Mahapatra. Mr. Mahapatra has completed his graduation from BCKV and obtained his MSc and PhD degree in agronomy from G.B. Pant University of Agriculture and Technology, Pantnagar. He later pursued his postdoc from University of Reading, United Kingdom. His vast research areas include organic farming, fiber crop production, soil fertility management, and cropping system. We welcome you, sir. Sir, we are elated to have an eminent personality with 36 long years of experience in teaching, research, and extension. You have stated your journey as an assistant professor, ultimately becoming the professor and head of the Department of Agronomy in G.B. Pant University of Agriculture and Technology. Successfully guided 8 PhDs and 12 MSc students as a major advisor. Sir has also been the director of ICAR, Central Research Institute in jute and allied fibers. Sir, listing your achievements within this time-bound limitation is challenging, but I will try to summarize some of your laurels. Being a recipient of Commonwealth Rutherford Fellowship of United Kingdom, Sir has also been a co-chairman of Life Sciences Research Board, DRDO, Ministry of Defence, Government of India since 2014. You are a member of Uttarakhand Organic Act 2018, member of Research Advisory Committee of various ICR institutes like ICR SPI, ICR DRMR, ICR IIWBR, ICR 𝘣𝘦𝘴𝘵, and ICR RCNEH. So let me take a breath. Being an associate editor in Indian Journal of Agronomy, he was facilitated by SARC Agriculture Center, Dhaka. You have handled 14 projects as a principal investigator funded by IRRI Philippines ICAR, Government of India DAC. And also, you have brought several external funded projects to ICAT, CRIJF, and developed 17 varieties of jute and allied fibers and Sesbania. Our country's first Sesbania green manuring variety, Pant Ses 1, is his gift to our countrymen. He obtained 𝘳𝘦𝘢𝘥𝘆 patent and also filed for 2 patents and 1 trademark. He has more than 150 research papers in high-impact international and national journals, 15 review papers, 30 popular articles, 2 books, 25 technical bulletins, and 10 book chapters. He has an H index of 18, I-10 index of 36, and about 1,010 citations in national and international journals. I again welcome you, sir, to grace this virtual podium and enlighten our participants with your knowledge. Over to you, sir.
So could you please unmute yourself?
Yeah, you are correct. So very good evening to all of you. And thank you, Madam Gulgul Singh, to introduce me. You have told much more than what I deserve. But anyway, Most of the part of my life I've spent at northwest part of the country at 𝘳𝘨𝘳𝘺𝘺, which was previously as Western UP, now in Uttarakhand. Some part of my career I have spent at West Bengal. Again, I have come back here as a Vice-Chancellor. Now, going through various aspects of research and education in agriculture and in the field of agronomy in particular, I have faced many challenges. And the topic which I am going to talk a bit, that is the organic agriculture technology, is a brainchild of late 90s at 𝘳𝘨𝘳𝘺𝘺, when our department talked about the first seminar in 1997 on organic agriculture. Organic agriculture on those days were perceived in a different way, and many things came into picture. But ultimately, our journey started when Uttarakhand was declared as an organic state, and 𝘳𝘨𝘳𝘺, the reputed university in the country, was endowed with the responsibility to go for the preparation of package of practices for organic agriculture. We, as a team member, under the dynamism of our director research, we started working on that. We regrouped ourselves. We started visiting the whole Uttarakhand hills and the Tarai plains, and started working out how best organic can be done. Now, by that time, in 99, there was a first seminar when Mr. Sompal was the agriculture minister at the union. And that was being carried out by Dr. R.L. Yadav, the director of Indian Institute of Farming System Research at Madhipuram, which is now, and at Indian Statistical Agriculture Research Institute at Delhi, what the roadmap started to talk about. But the seminar was something different. Many NGOs came into picture, and they tried to sow 3 months mango in a 1 year crop, a 1-year-old mango plant, and depicted them as organic, or saying something that is organic. But science was not there. It was under the dynamic leadership of the then Director General Punjab Singh Saab. In 2000, he called a meeting with GDG NRM, Dr. Samraji, the Director of Indian Institute of Soil Science, Bhopal, Dr. Acharya Saab, and few host institutes are called there to participate, including 𝘳𝘨𝘳𝘺𝘺. The deliberations were for 2 days. Then the institutes are asked to submit concept notes. And on that basis, the concept note, the organic farming program initiated with the leadership of one of the principal scientists there, Dr. Mohan Singh Saab, who also happens to be an alumni from 𝘳𝘨𝘳𝘺. So we collectively worked and grouped it, and the network project on organic farming, what you see today in the country, that is the brainchild of that initial program under the leadership of Dr. Punjab Singh. The program was approved when Dr. Mangala Rai was DG ICR in 2004. It was initiated. But by that time, we as scientists from 𝘳𝘨𝘳𝘺 started working on organic agriculture. Now, there was huge difference with the scientific community we are and the NGOs working at Uttarakhand, how the organic movement can be taken forward. Whatever they found default growing on the field, they tried to depict as organic, what the NGOs tried to do it. But our mottos were not to go for the default organic as organic production system. We tried to go for science and how technology can be evolved in it, and how the farm technologies can be given so that the organic cultivation in totality can be achieved. Because if you go through the definition of organic farming, it's a holistic production system which largely divides or avoids the use of synthetics. Now, organic agriculture, when we say it does not divide the animal component, so the horticultural component, so the farm machinery and other things, and every aspects of crop production, but the approach need to be different. Many of us have borrowed what IFOM or FIVL or any other organic organizations in the world has told. But if we look in today, There are more than 47 million hectares of world organic agriculture. Australia, Oceania, there are around 19 million hectares with organic farming. And there, the difference, if we look in our context, we find hardly there are 15,000 organic farmers. Here in our context, more than 500,000 of organic farmers and only 500,000 of area under crop production. Around 4 to 5 million hectare, which considers your forest and other ecologies of production. So that cannot be as scientifically told as organic farming. A few days back, I was with the Vice-Chancellor convention at Ranchi. One of my colleagues was talking on organic agriculture. The matter is appreciable, but still, after crossing the seminar we hold at, it was there on 1999, 23 years. And I was there also involved with the expert panel on organic farming in 2005 under the chairmanship of Dr. H.P. 𝘳𝘕𝘓, who was DDG Horticulture, and also Vice-Chancellor in the Agriculture University, where we framed what should be the modalities, how scientific approach could be done, and how technologies can be given towards the farmers to make the country as a whole production system as organic. We take about the example of Sikkim. We take about the example of Uttarakhand. Recently, many things have come about Sikkim on organic agriculture in national health. At the same time, we got the news how the Sri Lanka got the setback of going organic. Now, what is happening? We scientists or the researchers or the agricultural worker, I will say, and our colleagues need to be much more responsible. I do come from Uttarakhand, Tarai, where rice wheat system is to produce, or rice system is to produce around 15 tons of rice and around 2 tons of green peas under the system. So when we want to talk about organic, the productivity must carry forward on the same nature. The premium price we get, that is 25 to 30% by producing organic. That is the benefit of the farmer and increase in income of the farmer. But many places, if we look into the modern day agriculture and the organic farming, there are 1,001 technologies available for organic or modern day agriculture for high yielding varieties of rice, wheat, and other crops. But when we talk about organic agriculture, starting from varieties, we don't have a single variety to name, because we have come forward from the age-old tall and traditional varieties of local cultivars or land races, which used to be cultivated without much infestation of disease and pest, with a marginal yield, at the same time resistant towards water stress, heat stress, and many other stresses. But yield was less, or population was less. So we survived. But today, the food grain production has gone up from 1950s from around 50 million tons to more than 320 million tons. So that is the amount of work we have done in last 60 years or 70 years to increase our food grain production. So what our fellow colleagues in plant breeding they have done, they have gone for vertical breeding of crops, keeping the insecticides and pesticides as a shield for disease of control of disease and pest and for higher yields. But in organic farming system, if I go to any shop which are selling agrochemicals, do we find the equal number of biopesticides or material which can control the disease and pest organically? We simply say, go for neem cake, go for parthenium extract, go for that, fly ash, or sawdust, go for something different. But that, or go for cow urine, or go for many other things, panchagabba. So those are not answers. At the same time, someone is saying the cow peat fat, just applying 100 grams, few kilos, you can compensate the need of nutrient requirement of the crops. That is not sure. That cannot be. So the problem remains, because today's organic agriculture also needs to be commercial organic agriculture that need to compete. If we want to have organic agriculture in the country, we need to differentiate into zones. First of all, need to give priorities to zones, and that zone we need to develop organic agriculture practices, because whatever the process and procedures are available, we need to adapt them. Immediately, we are not going to get compensated with the yield loss, so that there is some period requirement, which is the lag phase of the organic cultivation. So we need to be compensated, or the farmers need to be compensated for the cost of ecology, environment, and biodiversity. What is being given as subsidy in different forms to crop production or other sector of the country. So once we develop a particular niche area zone under organic and compensate the yield loss of that zone from other zone, and slowly another way, we can proceed to other places if we want to make the country as organic. But before going that, there need to be huge amount of infrastructure development is required, because since 60s till today, the amount of money that is being spent on agriculture research and development for whatever may be the yielding varieties or crops or pesticide or disease or farm machinery, the same parallel expenditure is required when you need to achieve organic agriculture technologies to be sustainable and viable, and farmers' economy to come to a moving conditions. As such, when you see the programs, 100 crores for research and maybe 1,000 crores for technology dissemination, first we need to develop the technologies. Then we can think about the dissemination part. But many of us, with a notion that the technologies are already developed, because we need to reach to the people and say this can be done or that can be done. But in 2018, 15, I was given the responsibility by our Vice-Chancellor to have a look on the organic blocks which are developed under organic package practices of the government. See whether practically the organic program is going on or something else is going on, or everything is on paper. So that motivation we need to bring, the monitoring of the system, just not giving some bookish language or some lecture that it need to be done organic. I do recollect the 1968, I was hardly 11 years old when Sonalika, the RR21 came into the country, and 5 kilos of seeds were distributed to our village, and our plot, that 5 kilo wheat was grown. It was green, luster, vigorous growth of wheat. And from that day, since 60s, till today, though West Bengal is not a part of growing wheat, yet the people in that locality grow wheat for their own requirement. Seeing is believing. So we need to establish the technologies for organic cultivation system. The major issues, may it be varieties, may it be nutrient management practices, may it be disease and pest resistant matters, the marketing is there. That is a commercial aspect, or certification is there. That is commercial aspect. But the basic fundamentals of crop production, animal rearing, all need to be given due attention for scientific development. As long as science is not developed, we cannot achieve the goal of organic cultivation, and so also natural farming. Those are totally different, but the concepts of natural farming and organic farming runs parallelly. with a different opinion. But in case of organic farming, we must have, I say, we must have the production processes available, alternatives available, and the niche areas for cultivations are available. Nothing can be pushed from other place that you do this organically, or do that organically. Many people sitting in big cities, big positions, they may cheer it up that, okay, when we eat organic, we feel ourselves something comfortable. No doubt, that is there. Because when an organic production system is there, the soil is rejuvenated, the environment is rejuvenated, the biodiversity is rejuvenated, farmers can also be rejuvenated with the ethics that there is no yield loss for the farmers. But are we in a position? Many people are saying, no, we can have an yield equivalent of in 4 to 5 years. Who is going to compensate those 4 to 5 years to the people or to the farmers? That is the answer question. Secondly, the certification process that has developed in the country. Most of the states, they have started their own certification process, including Uttarakhand, MP, Rajasthan, and many other places, Maharashtra, and many other places. But it is not the certification alone is going to go for development of organic packages. There are many more scientific advancement is required, and we need to again go through the land races and local cultivars to make ourselves dependent on organic cultivation, because amount of pesticides we have brought into the system or agrochemicals we have brought into the system, just reverse going, it will be tough at present day context. So with this, as I need to move for some other work at our university level, I'll be ready to reply you a few questions in your mind, because many miles to go before we start large-scale organic cultivation practices. Many people are claiming that this is organic, that is organic. I'm not going to challenge them, but scientifically, many things, many aspects are unanswered at various ends. So thank you very much for patience hearing, and hopefully I'll be able to give you some answers of your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. As quoted by Buddha, there is no wealth like knowledge. So here are some of the questions by our participants to discuss. So the first question is, how artificial intelligence can transform the organic farming industry?
Okay. Now, this is a different aspect totally. As the modern day agriculture is transformed, so organic agriculture can be transformed. But the fact is that we need to have science and technology of organic farming in our hand. And then only it will be possible. It is the artificial intelligence for organic and the modern day agriculture. They are like rail ka patri. दोनों साथ चल रहे हैं, दोनों का availability होना चाहिए. So similarly, to transmit them, the science and technology must be available. It will be equally helpful what it is being helpful for the modern day agriculture.
Sir, somebody has also asked, is there any project in agriculture who uses artificial intelligence?
Agriculture project on?
A project in agriculture which uses artificial intelligence.
No, there are many projects. However, what is happening, if you look into the country as a whole, there are many projects working on artificial intelligence and many other aspects. But what we want to keep within ourselves. And we justify ourselves by publishing a paper or doing some documentation, then keeping whether this is our child, our baby, and we don't allow it to go. And agriculture is such a proposition because the PRA, what we say, that is most, you must see it. Then only you can go for artificial intelligence and all these things. Every aspect, the research is growing very fast. Today's researchers are very smart enough, I will tell, than others, we people are. Because we are mainly field oriented, then lab, then to lab. We didn't have computer, we had a passive machine. So there also we were doing. Now everything is computer oriented and managed. So that is the real difference. We need to learn the field, lab, then you develop artificial intelligence, then go. It will work.
Thank you, sir. Sir, we also have a question like, will GM crops, the modified crops, help farmers in reducing the cost of cultivation of crops?
GM are allowed to be grown under organic, is it?
Yes, sir.
No, it does not use up. I told you just IPM definition I told. It largely averts or divides the use of synthetics. The GMs are synthetics.
So GM crops cannot be used in organic.
Ethically, it cannot be used.
Okay,
Ethically.
sir.
Organic farming to some extent runs with some sort of ethics and some sort of dominance. Because if you see the soil use and management, there is a journal of 2007, I think, where the UK registered for organic farming system. They have got some permissible limit, but for use of some rocks and minerals. But when we go for our system, the same certification team will come, will say these are not permitted. So that bargaining is there. To what extent we allow the things to be used under organic cultivation system. But GM is not permitted, so far ethics are concerned, so far organic cultivation is concerned.
Okay, sir. Sir, like somebody has also asked that if they want to shift from chemical farming to organic farming, how much time will it take for them?
See, it depends on what type of crop they want to grow. Only one crop I got success in my around 12 years of working on directly in the field on organic. The basmati rice and chickpea. Now chickpea will say how it survives. The chickpea's menace is in, your pod borer. So NPV can directly control pod borer. And what we used to get cultivating normally or so-called chemically, the same or better yield we used to get in organics. So there are some crops, but it is not the single crop you are going to get. You are going to get multiple crops in the system. So rotation is the basic principles of organic cultivation. Because you don't allow the same type of germs to grow continuously in your field and affect your crops. So this is one of the fundamental, basic fundamental of rotation. Very fine when you use organic compost or green manure as a nutrient supplement, because they are from plant or animal origin. So they have most of the nutrients which are required by the plant growth and development. And when organics are used in larger scale, you will find the crop which is being grown organically, they must have much more root volume because of favorable soil microbial biota in the system and many secretions. Those are there. But when we talk about yield, as organic matter releases nutrients slowly, and we have not developed any variety which has got that type of nutrient requirement, because you are all agriculturists. Just take example of rice. Half at the time of transplanting, 25% as tillering and 25% at panicle initiation. So that is the mode of nutrient requirement. But if you apply compost or vermicompost or green manuring, so that requirement is not removed. So that will release you slowly. So that amount of required at the initially or at the tillery, those won't be available. So the way the yields are reduced. So in case of cereals, particularly, we cannot expect huge amount of yield because I was at Tarai where farmers are expecting 8 to particularly the rich farmers, the Sikh farmers, they are expecting 8 to 11 tons of rice. So that cannot be achieved organically because when we go for high dose of nutrients, so attack for nutrient and pest and disease will solve more. So you need to go for chemicals. At the same time, wheat. In Punjab, you want 6 tons of wheat. In Bengal, where I am today, we are satisfied with 2.3 tons or 2.4 tons. What we were in 1974 when we was doing BCKV. So that is the difference. So organic farming today is also same commercial angle we need to see. It is not a default organic farming. जो हो गया वो हो गया बाकी चलते रहा नहीं, because our land is sinking, so our need is much more. And when I started my MSc from Pantnagar to Delhi, we never used to see any light on the roadside. Now from Pantnagar to Delhi, the total 240 kilometers is full of lights and hotels and other developments. So these are all agricultural lands converted to other purposes. So our demand need is also there to increase the production and productivity and production. To limit the land is sinking. Similarly, organic yield also need to be increased. So that science and technology must need to be developed before organic is recommended in totality.
So, there's a participant with us, Shashi Singh. He or she, I'm sorry, he's doing organic farming, but because of the Pest Act and organic pesticides, the cost is a lot, and the buyers are not giving them proper rates. So it is very difficult for the farmers to move from chemical to organic. Do you have a solution for this, sir?
Madam, the problem arises. We are all brothers and sisters in the agriculture research and education system. So it is not a criticism. I could not find my fellow pathologist, plant pathologist, to be comfortable from one village to in one district to another village in other district. Because these biopesticides or the microorganisms which are used as to control the disease and pest, they are so sensitive, they are so area specific, niche specific. So every specificity needs a certain type of microbial consortium to control the disease and pest. So that work is not being done at all. Only Pseudomonas Beauveria blindly saying it can control everything. It does not so happen. Only in one thing I find the NPV that could properly take care of pod borer, but that's also we need to have a proper NPV from proper company. And very effectively said, because the amount of disease and pest, those are being the number of disease and pest being controlled by pesticides and chemicals, the amount the concentration those are being used is much more, because with the time increase in their resistance system. So bioagents and bio control mechanisms need to be further stronger. The major problem with biocontrol mechanism that when you are introducing some external material into the system, whether they are going to, you are going to survive on them or they are going to dominate over you over a period of time. So that is a major risk. That is the major problem of GMOs.
Okay, sir. So basically for organic farming, I would like to ask the basic major drawback is the cost. So the cost for how to manage that cost, sir?
Yes, we have got fertilizer plants. We had got pesticide plants. And our roadmap was that. That was our roadmap, to produce more fertilizer, more pesticide to sustain production and productivity in various agroecosystems. But what has happened? Large-scale deforestation has gone. The Punjab, we should not have grown rice. They're harvesting rice more than what Bengal rice is harvesting, the productivity. And you see the nitrate contamination, the groundwater. So that has resulted into shifting our mind. Okay, let us compensate something with organic farming, but the risk should not be such that in country now there is a thinking, let me live because I am handsome, let others, whether they die or live, we don't mind. So if we forget that phenomenon, then we need to think about each and every countryman and we need to get food for them. So there, parallelly, when you want to switch over from one system to another system, you need to change your habits. Similarly, we need to have commercial production system of organic material at the same time organic biopesticides, so they can competitively act under market conditions. And who is the best? The public will be taken care of that. The farmer will be taken care of that. So production system must come up. Individually, India cultivates more than 200 million hectares of land. This is huge. The nutrient requirement is huge. And simply the rice wheat system, if you consider on an average 150 kilogram for nitrogen rice, 150 kilogram for wheat, 300 kilogram, then how much fertilizer material is required? No doubt, the country has got enormous amount of waste, organic waste, but there the cost effectiveness is there. I have seen myself in my younger days, the small village kids used to collect cow dung from the fields. But those days are gone. Every person has got their own way of life. Now, what the mobile you carry on, a simple boy or girl is carrying a mobile of different, maybe a lesser cost, but trying to adjust with the requirement. So the priorities have changed. So the way the commercial aspects have been brought into fertilizer, pesticide production, we need to bring commercial angle of vermicompost or farmyard manure or green manuring production and so on and so forth, biopesticide production. That only the organic will go parallelly with the varieties development. Our scientists need to do a lot with the development of varieties.
Thank you, sir. Sir, what are your views about these types of trainings by Just Agriculture, sir?
Now, these are very, very pertinent, I must say, because I am sitting here near Kolkata. You are at Punjab, probably. And my junior colleague, our colleagues are there. Someone is from Rajendra Agriculture University, someone will be at Pantnagar, someone will be at Tamil Nadu. So this is the intelligentsia working all through the country for one cause, whether we can go for this or that. And we are not criticizing anyone. We are talking science, the way it can be valued or can be taken up by the people. Now, if my science is good, someone is going to take it up. If my science is not good, if I give 100 trainings, then also they are not going to come up. So, very perfect. And we must interact. There are many good people. There are many good speakers available with us. Many good. I tell you, this is my alma mater also. I did my graduation long back, 75, 74, 78. Then I did work for 2 months in 85. And honestly speaking, the amount of infrastructure in agriculture research education I never find in any state agriculture universities. Not on my alma mater at Pantnagar. But it ranked first. So this type of interaction uplifts you, your knowledge, wide visibility. And when we know each other, then we can believe each other and we could proceed further. So that should be there. That should be the motto.
So we have a participant from Himachal Pradesh. He wants to ask that how can we grow apples organically in Himachal Pradesh? As the farmers are spraying pesticides as per the spray schedules which they have from Department of Horticulture. So please enlighten us with their views, sir.
See, at very outset, I am not an horticulturist, but I know that one disease is problematic in apple, that is apple scab. Hopefully that is one. Now, Himachal apple growing conditions are the apple growing conditions of the lower in the UK's and some part of the New Zealand or some part of the Canada. But we need to go through the literature, because the amount of apple that is being grown under organic, the present day of the saplings which are being provided for the apple growers, not only in Himachal, in Uttarakhand. The Himachal apple is very nice, fantastic. It covers the whole country before the Kashmiri apple comes. And they fetch a good price. Even at Calcutta and at our Pantnagar places, this is Himachali before the Kashmiri comes. So I will request, I'll give you a number. I can pass on your email. Dr. H.P. Singh is there, who was the Dadan DDG Horticulture, and he's still active. He organizes many seminars, and he was a man of. He's a hardcore horticulturist. And he has worked under various. He was also horticulture commissioner. तो मैं उनका नंबर आपको दे दूंगा. It is better he speaks than I speak on growing apple. Okay.
Somebody has also questioned that the maximum pesticides is used for the grapes cultivation.
Yes.
So again, it is a horticulture question. So they have also asked, how can they grow grapes organically, sir?
No, if you go to Australia, most of the grapes are being grown organically for the preparation of wine. Now, what is happening? We are least bothered about the society and the cultivation practices. We are concerned about how much economically we are getting, and that is being converted into rupees. There is no problem. You can talk to IFOM or the organic grape growers in Australia, and you get document. Today, Google provides every document available for cost of production systems. And as not only apple, not only grapes, the bindi, the lady's finger, the bindi you purchase from the market, every third day it is being picked, the pesticides are being applied, or brinjal. So these are there in everywhere. How much honest we are, that we need to see. And there are also mechanisms, and we need to think, do things dedicatedly. Then only everything. When we drive a car or a vehicle, we are sensitive enough to run the vehicle. Similarly, when we are going for agriculture, it should be a continuous process to be monitored, and the varieties need to be used, the orchards to be developed, which needs to avoid the major disease and pests, and so on and so forth. There are many other methods. The precautions need to be taken, the pests and predators, which can result in devoid of the pests and diseases. So even this question also will be given answer from Pune, the Grape Institute, or from Dr. H.P. Singh, because Pune, they are working on grapes, grapes research, and you can get it from H.P. Singh's app. So it will be better if you take H.P. Singh's. I'll give you the email and phone number. You can talk to them.
So the person again asked that the Australia climate and India climate, it is different. So will it be manageable that way?
No. Australia climate is different. We are different. We need to have different technologies. Then what Australia does. Now, India generally don't go for drinking raw milk. If you go to Australia or England, no milk is being even boiled for drinking purposes. So the place is changed, your mechanism is changed, your thinking is changed, and what to do and what not to do are being followed. So it's science also, and hopefully the land races, if you can collect, Those are of much more value in our conditions. What is happening when you are introducing some exotic strains? They might be giving more yield, but they are not existing under this climatic condition that they are becoming susceptible to disease and pest. आप गोरे को यहाँ छोड़ दीजिए, जो हाल हो जाएगा वो varieties का हाल भी यही होगा. But their way of thinking will be something different. We think in conservative way, they think in other way. So those are there.
So many questions are coming regarding the pests. So there is one question that how can they manage fruit flies completely from organically, and the sucking pests for how they can manage it organically.
So that I need to give a reference of a person. Again, I will give forward. Dr. Satpathy is there, who is there as an entomologist, very good entomologist in the country, and in Central Judicial Institute. So these two references I will give you to discuss, because fundamentally I am an agronomist, a bit modified soil scientist, you can say, with a bit of crop science, because I worked as a director in the Crop Science Institute, and then managing the things. So every aspect a single person cannot answer, and I have not worked on those areas. If you ask about the green manuring, I can say. If you asked about the vermicompost composting, because I myself installed in 11 districts in at least 45 villages, the vermicompost unit in the state of Uttarakhand. So that I know what are the pros and cons, how the things will be developed, even integrated farming system, bringing hatchery into the system and so on. So regarding a specific subject, we need to ask questions to the specific persons. Where Dr. H.P. Singh, I'll give the reference. Dr. Satpathy, who is there at CRISAB, is a good entomologist. He can refer. Even Dr. There is one Sushil Kumar. Is there in Institute of Soil Sugarcane Research at Lucknow. He's a good entomologist. And even IRI entomologists are very fantastic. I don't know about PAU. I don't find much more at Pantnagar.
Thank you, sir. So we have $1 million question that can organic cultivation ensures food security in India completely, sir?
No, it's not like that. We should take the way the shifting of trawl and traditional cultivation has brought to modern day cultivation. We need to follow the same path. Nothing is going to happen overnight. No doubt, the sustainability of the system is required for our existence, for the existence of the environment, the ecology and biodiversity. We need to keep biodiversity. If you go to villages, many people have abandoned animals, but animals are much more required today. So also, slowly and niche area recipe, we need to have a long-term planning. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible. There's a little breaking of the knowledge, but it's audible, sir.
Okay. So immediately nothing is going to happen. Amount of science and infrastructure which should have been brought into organic research and development, that is not there. So building is not yet completed. We have just started from the foundation. It's a long way to go.
So
no
we
doubt,
have, sorry.
No doubt, if you can go for organic, the system will be sustainable, ecologically viable, and biodiversity will be maintained. All will live together.
Okay, sir. So one question is there from Sudeep Dey. He wants to know that why potatoes cannot be cultivated in waterlogged conditions, sir. Is there any other way to cultivate potatoes in that condition?
Every species has got its own adaptability and sustainability. So also potato. If we compare rice or a bit of sugarcane or sesame or jute, capsularies, they can withstand waterlogging because they got different mechanism for the root system to be go through respirations. Oxygen is required. So they are brought from outside to their roots. Potato does not have that mechanism. And secondly, as tuberation takes place underground, so it requires a soil medium for its proper growth and development. Otherwise, there will be no tuber development if no oxygen is going into the system.
Okay, sir. Sir, one more question, sir. Nanotechnology with plant protection. Is it applicable in India as there's a boom of nanotechnology right now? So is it applicable in India, sir?
Hey, Gopal, Gopal, just a minute. Just
Sir,
hold on.
okay.
It is Gopal. এটা গেল কি করে ফট করে এখানে হাত চলে গেল কন্ট্রোলে
ও তাহলে স্টেপ পড়ে আছে মানে এইসব ই হচ্ছে অসুবিধা নেই
sorry there is disturbance what you are talking
Yes, sir. Sir, I was talking like as nanotechnology
Yes,
has a boom in this.
okay nowadays actually we people want to take a new thing very fast whether seeing its existence or it can be worked under farm field conditions or not. Scientifically, nano has got some specific demand in the system because nano means smaller and smaller. So it increases its efficiency. But fact is that how best the mechanisms are developed. We take up things from Western countries very fast. Even there is huge talk about nano fertilizer, not only nano pesticides. So those need to be tested. And in the name of nano, many spurious things are coming into market that need to be choked. And the whole overall system needs to be much more accountable what they're delivering to the society. No doubt, nano means more the surface area of acting. So the requirement will be less. One way you can reduce the cost of the cultivation. And pesticide is one area, herbicides or pesticides or whatsoever it may be, where it is going to be work. But scientific evidences are how best to be used, that need to be demonstrated.
Okay, sir. Sir, many participants are having this question only that when the farmers they switch to organic farming, they start selling the organic produce at very higher cost, and it is very difficult for the lower class or the middle class population. So, what are your views on that, sir?
When organic materials are sold in the market at a very higher cost, that's the way the country is moving. See, I told you in between that is sectarian people who they are not bothered about what others are doing or eating or the fellow sentiments, fellow feeling or fellow requirements. I think those things are being vanished these days a bit. Otherwise, it is not like that. If you go to Delhi Haat or Dehradun market, you'll find the organic is being sold at a not at a price, and people are money has become very cheap for a particular sector of people who can afford, and organic production is also not that high. So out of that, only 10% can be provided organic. So that's why they get more money.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. So rest of the questions are more or so same, which are being addressed. So with this last question, I would like to thank you, sir, for your valuable time. Thank you so much, sir. Over to sir, DPS, Dr. DPS Padwal, sir.
So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Hopefully I could service, and in future also, if there is a need, I can be of your use for science and development. And as a colleague in the system with a bit of experience in myself, working in the agriculture research and development and education. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you on the behalf of everyone, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, all the participants, for joining this session. I will request you to stay tuned for the next session. We are waiting for our eminent personalities to join. Please, sir. As sir has joined, we welcome you, sir, and just a minute. Yes, sir. Here's a warm welcome to our newly joined participants to the 8th day of this 15-day international training program cum workshop program on Agriculture 2.0, a next level approach towards sustainability, smart farming, and agri-innovation. Myself, Gulgul Singh, host for this session, would like to extend the heartiest welcome to our chief guest, Dr. 𝘳𝘦𝘢𝘵 𝘨𝘚𝑉, Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, Central Agriculture University, Pusa. On behalf of Just Agriculture e-magazine and other collaborators, we are honored to have you with us, sir. If you all permit me, I will take a few minutes to introduce our chief guest here. Our Vice Chancellor, sir, has completed his education from Government Inter College, Allahabad, Allahabad Agriculture Institute, and Indian Institute of Technology, Kharagpur. With holding the positions of scientist at 𝑣𝑃KSL, senior scientist and principal scientist, WTCER Bhubaneswar, principal scientist, Indian Institute of Water Management, Bhubaneswar, Directorial Central Agriculture Research Institute, ICAR, Port Blair, Andaman and Nicobar Islands. During his 39 years of service, his vast research field is in the rainwater management, integrated farming system, and groundwater management. Sir, Dr. Srivastav, sir, has several personal awards and honors bestowed to his name: Fellow of National Academy of Agriculture Science, Rafi Ahmed Kadwai Award, Vasantrao Naik Award of ICAR, ASPEE Award of Indian Society of Agriculture Engineers, Commendation Medal of Indian Society of Agriculture Engineers, Lifetime Achievement Award by Andaman Science Association. He has also been awarded as the Most 100 Influential Vice-Chancellor Award conferred in the 5th World Education Congress 2016. Lifetime Achievement Awards by the Society of Agriculture Innovation and Development, Swami Vivekananda Excellence Award by Indian Institute of Oriental Heritage, Kolkata. Most Influential Vice-Chancellor Award for Excellence and Leadership in Education by Golden AIM Awards 2021. And sorry, sir, the list goes on. The significant achievement of our sir is that Honorable Prime Minister mentioned Sukhet model developed by Rajendra Prasad Central Agriculture University in the 80th edition of his Mann Ki Baat on 29th August 2021. Sir, we appreciate your valuable time to grace our virtual podium and eagerly look forward to your great words, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Singh. I'm thankful that you have given me this opportunity to interact with a very esteemed audience. Actually, I will be talking on, as we are in Bihar, which is prone to disaster, specifically the flood-prone flood areas. So I will be talking about living with disaster, our sustainable agriculture strategy for flood-prone areas. I have written the first line, that living with disaster, because given the situation in Bihar, where the floods are a recurring feature every year, unfortunately, in 2021, the flood was at its worst. Instead of when the normal rainfall of 1200 millimeter, we received around 2000 millimeter of the rainfall. The flood remained for a longer time. Flood waters inundated in even the new areas. Plus, we got not only one bout of the floods, but 2 to 3 bouts of the flood, even in the late September also. So when I talked, I was thinking on these lines. Then I said, whatever we do, it's very difficult to control the floods because the flood originates from Nepal. The river waters which come from Nepal flood the Bihar plains, and till it is controlled in Nepal itself, you can't control the floods. And now, given the environmental concerns, it is very difficult to construct any dam, any reservoir in the Nepal in the hills, because the Nepal hills are equally fragile as our Himalayas. The whole Himalayas ranges are fragile. You can't construct any dam or something like that to store the rainwater during the season. So what I say, let us live with disaster. Let us devise a strategy that how we can get the best of it. The very first thing which we get from the flood, that our aquifers get recharged during the monsoon, and we have got sufficient amount of the groundwater available to us to take care of our requirement. If we go for intensive cultivation during the post-flood season, at least there are sufficient amount of the water available. Our soils are again get nutrients during the flood, so our soil become richer. We get the sufficient amount of the rain, sufficient amount of the water in our aquifers, which will take us through to the next season. Now, because if you only calculate that how much recharge you are getting during the season, our will be a deficit area, and our groundwater will start declining. So let's talk like that. So first thing first. Most of the time when we talk about the floods, we talk about the losses in our crops. We very less talk about the loss of productivity of the cattle, and even less loss of problem to our ladies, our newborn children. This idea came to me when I was traveling from Motihari to my place during the flood season, and about 3 to 5 kilometer stretch of the 4-lane highway was blocked at one side, and we had to shift on the other side. I just asked my driver, what happened, why you have shifted the lane? He told, sir, the lane is now occupied by the flood affected people. Next day, I was reading the newspaper, in the other news, that they are supplying the food packets to the people who have displaced from their houses. I was saying, what food we are supplying? It's only chura and gul, not more than that, a little bit some. Then I said, it's very good, it's okay to just fill up the belly. But what about what is happening to our lactating mothers? The mothers who have just given birth to the newborn child, and that child who is supposed to not take anything other than the mother's milk. He is surviving only on the mother's milk for his good health. How can a lactating mother provide the milk if she herself is not getting any nutritive food? She is just getting some substantive ration, which is just keeping her soul and body together. The same thing that I talked to my food and nutrition professors, and she told, sir, till date, nobody has even talked about this, that's what's happening to our lactating mothers. Because since that my professor is working on the stunting of children in the Bihar, and as we all know, that the number of the stunted growth children is highest in Bihar. So this flood, and when these people are displaced and we are not taking care of them, this is going to contribute to the population of our stunted children in the next coming generation. And when I talk of the coming generation, I always say, if you are not giving proper food, when our project funded by UNICEF is running in my university on the stunted children, I said, on that day I was talking about them, and I asked them, do we have any estimate of loss of GDP or loss of the wealth when our next generation, some percentage of our next generation is going to have a stunted growth? They said, no, we don't have any data. I have asked them to prepare this. Because without that, how we can say that, no, this is the loss? Then I said, okay, you give some my colleagues have prepared some Bal Shakti food and all that for such things, situation for the lactating mothers also. I asked them how you are going to. Then the biggest problem is, even if you give them food, those lactating mothers are not taking themselves first. They are first giving to the head of the family, the male members, then to the children, and that also to the male children, then after female children, and then comes to that poor lady, which is, although this is one of the best things which happens to our society, when our ladies are so considerate about their family, but at the same time, they are facing the brunt of the whole disaster. So I said, okay, we are going to start a new project on that. So I said, okay, give them this much food that the whole family eats. At least that lady, whatever remains, even if she is feeding to her children, at least remaining parts, that should be sufficient. So let us give it more. Same happens when I talked about the cattle. I asked the Mithila Dairy Union, which collect the milk and process it, and Sudha Dairy is one of the success stories of the Bihar. I asked that gentleman, managing director of that what is the reduction in the milk production and how much is the recovery time. He sent me the data that, sir, with the onset of the monsoon, the area, with the onset of this flood, the area which is affected by the floods, the decline is about 30%. And it is taking more than 3 months to recover it back to their normal production rate. Now think of a farmer whose whole livelihood is dependent upon the cattle, product of the milk product. By selling the milk products, he is running his livelihood. How he is going to suffer? Unfortunately, in the plan of the all our flood relief, this portion doesn't come. We are not planning anything that to provide sufficient fodder and sufficient feed to those cattle so that they survive. They keep on providing that sufficient amount of the milk to the farmer so that his livelihood is not affected. Now, that's why I sometimes people say that no, Bihar is not progressing that fast with that to do. I said every year you're part of the 20-25% population is going to suffer its livelihood to this extent, and then you expect them to recover back quickly. Sorry, it's not going to happen. So one thing which I will like that our policy makers, think over it, that how we are going to manage our milch cattle as well as our lactating mother. While lactating mother, managing lactating mother is necessary that our future generation doesn't get stunted. We reduce the number of the stunted children in our state and all over the country. And for the cattle, we need so that the people don't lose a part of their livelihood and they don't get again in that circle of the poor income and the debt and all that. Secondly, now that's a part of the cattle and the milk, human. Secondly, what about the productivity of the area which is affected by the flood? I said, okay, mainly we have got that now, even there's transplant the rice, and the rice get, if the rice get damaged by the flood, they think, okay, jo ho gaya, so ho gaya. And then after they go for the second crop. I had a last year a brainstorming session on this, and we have come out of a policy paper that no, why we should grow anything between July to September in the flood-prone areas. Let us forget about, keep the soil free from anything, and let's allow the water to come, and don't invest anything when there is so much risk. I got it that in the area where I have got around 250 acres of the land, which is flood prone, which gets flooded every year. We thought, okay, we will not grow anything between July to October. Between mid-October, when the rain flood water withdraw, we will start doing something. And then I said, okay, let us go for vegetables or the pulses or the your oilseeds irrigated by pumping water from the river. We have got the biggest source of the water nearby. And I designed one solar-powered pumping system based on the boat, so that we can't construct any permanent structure in that area because it will get washed away by the flood. So we said, okay, let's bring it. And with that, we will pump the water from the river and irrigate it nearby area. If it is even slight where the river water will may not be far up, we started using this solar tree-based pumping system. And with this, once we have got irrigation, we said we will have one crop. That crop will be harvested by 15th of February. And the second crop, mainly of the millets or even maize or some other crop, we will have the two crops. So we are going to have 200% cropping intensity in that area. For the we had developed the crop, different cropping rotations we developed from mid-October to mid-June. We are not going to have, I said, okay, this is 5.5 months that side, 2.5 months this side. It's going to make you around 8 to 9 months. We can easily go, what to say, of even June, we can go up to 15th July because normally we don't receive any flood before 15th of July. So 9 months out of 12, we can have the crops, two crops easily, well irrigated with a rich soil. Already we are having very good yield. And now we are even using wheat followed by the moong. I was mainly using the pulses in the crop rotation so that your fertility of the soil remains good. So even I'm getting from a good part of area, I'm getting very good seed. Our seed production of the wheat also we are getting very good. So this is helping us. We can have very good return from that flood-prone area. Third, you get some of the area during the flood-prone area sand casted, where the sand gets deposited and you can't get the crops over it when the sand is deposited. But I said, okay, can we have bamboo plantation there? So my colleague said, sir, bamboo, once we plant just before the monsoon, the normal timing of the planting is the July. Then flood will come and it will all be destroyed. I said, okay, we are not going to plant anything in the June. We will plant in the month of October or maybe in February after the winter is over. And we will plant a bit high, this saplings having a bit height of around 2 to 2.5 feet. And we will irrigate it. As I said, the water is available either through our solar tree or through that solar-based pumping system on the boat. And we divide that, we will put up underground subsurface drip irrigation system. Subsurface, because of this, the reason was that why we will put subsurface, because the sand casting will happen there again, and if you are putting up over the surface, the water will never reach to the root zone, because there will be 6 inches or 1 foot thick sand over the root zone, and so the water will never reach if you are irrigating by the dip. So we put up this, and what we found, there were very good results, that when we started providing water and fertilizer during the summer period, since water was not a constant, power was not a constant because it was from the sun, you are getting full sun during those months, and you are giving some fertilizer, there was a very fast growth of the bamboo. The flood came in the July end. By that time, our bamboos were more than 5 feet tall. Few of them could not grow that much. What we found, that all those who had gone more, whose top was visible even in the flood, it was not fully submerged, they all survived. The only plants which died due to flood were that which were totally submerged. They couldn't grow beyond maybe some places due to some reason or other. So what we found, that if it is 5 feet, it is more than 5 feet. The depth of the water was around 5 feet during that period. If the height of the plant becomes more than 5 feet before 15th of July, they are surviving. And once again, when the water is receding, the growth starts, profusely growth starts, and within 3 years, we have got a very good bamboo plantation in that area. And that is, within 5 years, it will not only start giving the money, but also provide coverage to the soil. It will stop the erosion. It will stop the flow of soil from inner area, outer area of the river to the river. So rivers will be saved from siltation. So this all has got a cascading effect. So these are the two by which we can improve the productivity of the flood-prone areas. Another challenge came. I was talking earlier that what is the benefit of flood or benefit of those rivers, that those rivers recharge our aquifers. Now, if you see, this year it has happened, because since it has rained up to even the September end in the whole catchment area, the river level, water levels was higher than the normal. In Ganga at Varanasi, it was reported that normally the water level remains around 63.5 meter MSL. This year it was 65 meters. Even in my area, which is covered by the Budhi Gandak River, on the Chhath Puja day, when I was sitting on the bank of the river, I said that when we are managing the ghat beforehand even, we found that the water levels are about 2 feet more to 3 feet more than the normal water levels which we find on the time of the Chhath Puja. I said, well, from where this water is coming now, the rains have ceased. Then I said, okay, we have got a continuum of aquifer and the river. During the monsoon season, rivers recharge the aquifer. Post-monsoon season, during the winter, the water from the aquifer moves to the river and provides the discharge in the river. And during the summer, it is the snow melt from Himalayas which provide the water in the rivers. So since this year, it had not rained, it had rained even up to the September, our river water was more. Because the aquifers were all full, even the top aquifer was also full. So I said, if you start recharging our aquifers during the monsoon by taking care of all the flood water, all the water which the runoff water which comes, we will be able to provide not only our aquifer full with the water, but also recharge, more discharge, more flow, base flow to the rivers during the month. Unfortunately, we have not studied this at all. I talked to my colleagues in the IIT Patna, in NIT Patna, in National Institute of Hydrology Patna. They said, no, we have not studied how the aquifer river continuum is working. Based on this, we have planned another experiment for little early vacation of Tal area by the water. We are planning that if we allow the water to flow to the aquifer from the top, because what we found that in between first aquifer and the second aquifer, even in the top, there was very thick clay layer, and that clay was with that soil was there, that layer had got more than 50% clay, which was as hard as you find in the black cotton soils. So because of that, there was no water movement from the top to the lower aquifer. And since the lower aquifer provides the water to the river, this river flowed after the monsoon. So there was no flow from the aquifer to the river. The water was not draining, and there was no contribution to the river also. So I have planned that. We have designed it. We couldn't complete it because this year the monsoon came early. We were just on the verge of completing things. Then it started raining heavily, and the machinery couldn't move to there. That we are planning that let us connect the second aquifer with the water available on the top of the Tal area, and let's see if this water goes in the aquifer, and from aquifer, since aquifer is connected with the river by its flow, can it reduce the water? Can it reduce the get the area vacated? Normally, the vacation, the water recedes totally when the soil becomes workable sometime by end of December. Just now I was traveling last week only, this 3 days back only, I was traveling in that area. And now the area has vacated almost. But now if they are going to sow the wheat, if they are planning, they were doing it, they are not going to sufficient yield because there will be terminal heat in the month of February, and the yield will never be more than 2 to 2.5 tons, which is certainly not profitable venture. So that we are trying to study it. So these are the few things which I say: live with the floods, live with the disaster, try to improve our economical conditions, try to make our production system sustainable by staying with nature. Our forefathers were always making it to stay with the nature, not play with nature much. What we are planning at RPCAU Pusa, that we don't want to disturb the total ecosystem by some construction or something like that. What we are planning, okay, this is the nature's view, way of the, it has been nature's way. Nature will be bringing flood water during that period. How we can survive without this, so how we can take benefit of that instead of crying every year that nahi sahab, baadh aa gayi, hamara to sab bhag gaya. Let the government give the subsidy. Every year government is spending more than 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 crores on the flood relief measures, and how much goes to the real users, you very well know, need not to tell it. So with this technology, what is my motto, what is my approach, that let us increase the sustainability by adoption of technology instead of talking that no, we are just dying out of the nature has got this. No, we have to stay with the nature. Be the don't manipulate nature, manipulate ourselves. Let us just try to do it, that we can sustain the things with the nature fury, live with the nature, and start living, learn to live with disaster. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Benjamin Franklin has stated that an investment in knowledge always pays the best interest. So thank you so much, sir, for such an enlightening information. Now the session is open for discussion and open interaction with our guest, with our chief guest. So any questions, please? Yes, sir. We have a question, sir. For what point of government is helping with the flood prone areas, sir?
What I feel the government at present is mainly repairing the embankment so it doesn't flow beyond that, and then providing the relief to the people who have lost their belongings or lost their life, lost their crop. Nothing, I don't think anything more than that. That has become every year's routine. Every year the government keeps some money in their budget for this flood reliefs.
Okay, sir. Sir, how much do you know the cost? How much it is providing for 1 acre, sir? Somebody has asked, sir.
I don't think there is some they have got every year they change it. I think somewhere around 5,000 or something like that. I don't remember now off the hand. That data you can easily get from the net. Need not to be. I will not venture in that.
Okay, sir, is like it is different for different crops or it is the same amount, sir?
I think it is different for different crops, but mainly since monsoon, it is mainly the rice. No other crop is grown during that period, so it is mainly for the rice.
So like we have so many technologies coming up, like sir, do we have a very eminent technology which can help for this flood prone areas which you are in knowledge of? Can you tell us, sir?
No, they have developed, even my university had developed a variety which can bear up the submergence. We have got one Solna sub 1, which is stands for submergence, that even if the crop remains submerged for 10 days or 15 days, there is not much loss in the yield. That on that only point we have been working in mainly. But I have tried to change that focus from the surviving with this floods than living with the flood. That we will not grow anything. Why I should venture in an investment which is too risky? Because that also, even Sona sub 1 has got a limit that if it is up to 10 days submergence, okay, there will not be any significant loss. But as soon as it is more than 10 days, it will suffer a loss. So after all, there is a risk. I had two centers. One was on the deep water paddy, another was on the flash flood rice. I said, why I should work on that? This was okay when we had the deficit of the grain. We were not getting so we had to produce the grain from whatever the ecosystem is. But now when we have got sufficient, our problem is now surplus. That how to manage our surplus grain, all the granaries are overflowing. Then why we should produce the rice from the areas where we can't get more than 2 tons per hectare in any case, because you can't apply fertilizer, you can't apply the insecticide, pesticide. So what we'll do?
Okay, sir. So the prevention is better than cure. You are suggesting that. So what are the reasons for these
मेरा वो
frequent?
दूसरा है, मुझे मालूम है कि इस रास्ते पे रिस्क है, मैं उस रास्ते पे जाऊंगा क्यों? मैं कोई दूसरा रास्ता न ढूंढ लूं? अगर मुझे मालूम है कि इस रास्ते पे चोरी चमारी होती है, कोई लूट सकता है मुझे, तो मैं उस रास्ते से जाऊंगा क्यों? मैं दूसरा रास्ता ना अडॉप्ट करूं?
So what can be the
अगर मान लीजिए आप जाती हैं, कोई रास्ता यूज करती हैं जहां आपको मालूम है कि लेट आवर्स में आऊंगी तो प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी, उस रास्ते पे मेरे को कोई ट्रबल कर सकता है, तो आप कहेंगे कि लेट आवर्स में मैं आऊँ ही ना, मैं जल्दी घर पहुंच जाऊं. Like that only.
Definitely.
If I make an analogy, I don't know how far I have succeeded in making that analogy, but I think this. भैया मैं अगर चोर से नहीं लड़ सकता तो मैं चोर वाले रास्ते पे जाऊं क्यों?
Okay, sir. So definitely. So, but my question was little different. I wanted to ask that, like, today's world, the urbanization and the industrialization, or the ways we practice agriculture, are those the reasons for these frequent floods?
Well, that is another way that's happening, because I calculated that with the urbanization, the runoff value increases. We in engineering we calculate we have got one factor that is we term as the C coefficient, and that C varies. If it is a meadows, then it is just 0.1 or 0.2, and if it is a paved area, it becomes 0.9. So that is almost like this, that if you have got 100 mm of the rainfall, if it is falling on a meadows, you will get just some 10% of it, 10 mm of the runoff. But if it is falling on a concrete, you will get almost 90% of the runoff, or maybe even 95%. So because of the urbanization, certainly we are getting more flood, more water at the runoff and less water going to the recharge. That's one of the major reasons that our groundwater is declining. But if we utilize that runoff for recharging our groundwater, we will be recharging our groundwater and we will not be facing the problem of flood also at the both times. So we can have double benefit out of that.
So you suggested like that, like we using the runoff water, we can actually we can shoot the target with it. One arrow can help with the two bows. You are saying that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Whenever I see Delhi waterlogged, I always say that Delhi suffers from the water supply during the post-monsoon season, and you always get dependent upon the Yamuna water to get a good quality water. But when it rains, you allow all that water to go waste.
definitely, sir. Definitely, sir. So, this runoff water, can it help in the like flood-prone areas to increase the productivity? So,
Yes.
what can?
Yes, we have designed one drainage cum recharge structure, and that we used last year in the Madhubani district, and that was an area of about 25 acres. And 25-acre area, the land water receded by November itself, and they could sow the wheat in November itself. And they said, "Sir, 25-30 साल बाद हमने यहाँ गेहूं लगाया है." They were not able to plant any crop because the water was not receding. So in that way, we have helped them, that they got the land vacated earlier by the water, and they could take the second crop. So, and we also recharge the groundwater at the same time, because we are sending that water to the ground in the aquifer. And we had that filter. Yeah, our design is like that, that we filter that water so that the silt or the other things do not go to the groundwater. That is the one precaution we have to take.
So with this discussion, I have two questions with this. So one question is that which crops which we can use in these areas, which crops which can be cultivated in these areas? So.
No, just after the flood is going on, we can have either any winter vegetables or this toria, or any pulses, whether be it your gram or pea, like that we are having. Or even if you want to take wheat, you can take wheat, and then because wheat then matures in April, and then we can have the moong in after that. And here, if we have first this, then we can have millets. Millets are going to give now good money. The millet prices is almost to 30 rupees a kg on the farm gate. You are getting at the rate of 50 rupees a kg in the malls. So 30 rupees easy. So millets have also become the very. So the different cropping system we will wet it, and they are there.
Okay,
mainly vegetables, followed by the maize or millets, and another wheat, followed by the moong or oat.
Okay, sir. So my next question, which you told about the drainage the system which you have approached, that you use mechanical filters and the filters to so is that water is totally filters? Like how much percentage of it is filtered?
Yes, we are filtering it almost. Today we are reducing the turbidity up to the 4 NTU, which is the unit of the turbidity, if I'm not wrong. So that we do it by, we have got a 3-stage filter, and the water passes through that 3-stage filter so that it becomes almost free of all the debris.
Okay, sir. So is this there's a training for this technology, or there is anything which can which we can tell our participants about, sir?
Yeah, if someone wants a training, they can send the proposal. We will ask our extension division to organize the training.
Sir, I'm a little diverting from the topic which we were discussing. So many people have asked that how we can minimize this floods or cyclone situation which is occurring in this 21st century, as we are seeing. So what we can do, this climate change helps.
The climate change is the only thing that if we reduce the fossil fuels as much as possible, that's the one way of doing it. And second thing, that how to floods. Floods is the only thing that you control from the where the water is originating. As I said about the urban areas, utilize it for your water harvesting and recharging your groundwater. You will be reducing the flood, reducing the flow of water to the river system. And that when you are recharging it, you will getting more flow during the lean season. As I said, now this year experience can easily show what has happened to the whole river system of the North India. That because we got the more rains during the September, so the our aquifers were full, and that aquifer contributed for higher water level even up to the November.
So the climate change is drastic, sir. We can see like still the weather has not been like it's not up to the mark as it used to be. So you must have seen the changes much higher. So we have a question like, does that change the cropping pattern or the cropping seasons also, sir?
Yeah, that will affect. Still, it is not affecting that much. Luckily, the temperatures have not risen, but it's going to affect our wheat crop, because if it is going to be warmer earlier, the wheat yields will reduce. There have been a number of the models on this, that if this much temperature goes away, in Himachal, it is affecting the apple belt, which was earlier is starting from 4,000 feet, is now starting from 4,500 or 5,000 feet. That problem is coming up. Now they are working on the apple varieties which can even don't require that much chill. So these are the things we are doing. But as a breeder, our breeders will be able to take care of that warmth, that warm nature of the worm. That way, as even this year also we are facing that the winters have set in late. Only about on 15th of December we were worried that if this type of the temperature continues, there will be no tilting in the wheat. So these are the problems are going to come up, and we have only thing that we have to mitigate it. We have to reduce our emissions and work upon that.
So like the temperature increase also affects the flood situation. So definitely the cropping season or the cropping pattern is affected by the flood situation also, sir.
No, the flood is more affected by the climate change, because with the climate change, what we are getting more intense rainfall and less number of the rainy days. When it rains slowly, the water gets absorbed in the soil and it goes in our aquifer. But if it rains fast, the intensity is more, you get less water to the aquifer and more water as a runoff. So when you are getting more water as a runoff, you will get more floods, and that's happening. That's happening in the last few, and even that affects our urban areas, because our urban areas, the whole drainage system is designed for a particular amount of the particular intensity of the rainfall. Now the rainfall intensity has increased, so even now you see many times it is happening that even a small shower with higher intensity that is taking place, and the whole area get waterlogged within no time.
Yes, sir.
Because our systems are not designed for that. Our drainage systems were designed for a lower intensity of the rainfall.
Definitely, sir. So will that affect the soil structure also?
Not now, because soil structure will be affected, because if we are not providing sufficient amount of the organic fertilizers, then that will affect us, because then the soils will have less carbon and then less water holding capacity, and that will be affecting the soil in the long run. But that is very long run effect, not immediately. But these things are going to happen immediate effect. We can divide what is going to be our immediate effect, what is going to be our medium-term effect, and the long-term effect. The only problem with long-term effects, sometimes I joke that people say by 2100 this will happen and that will happen. By that time, the people who are creating those models, they will not be there, and nobody will be able to ask, "Bhaiya, aapne to ye kaha tha, ye nahi hua, ye ho gaya." So there will be no accountability. So that is the safest thing to do. कि आप बोल दो जो बोलना है, भैया 2100 में तो हम रहेंगे नहीं, तो जो होगा कौन आ रहा है हमसे पूछने के लिए कि आपने क्या बोला था.
Definitely, sir. Definitely, sir. Sir, I have one of our fellow participants has also questioned, and I do have that in my mind. So, like are now in a very technological part of the world. Like the technology is really rising at the boom it is. So, but does our meteorological department or other, are they reliable with what the weather or climate change they are telling us? Are we
Yes,
reliable to that data?
our meteorology is reliable up to 80-90%. The rest 10% is let us live on the nature. Nature is always an equalizer. हाँ? So nature से उतना ही खेलें जितना nature को उतना ही control करें जितना हमारे बुते का है. So let us give some leverage to the nature also.
Yes, sir. Sir, we were talking about the plants and crops, right? Let's switch on to the livestock farmers also, sir. The floods affect them also. So, what is your advice that you can help them?
Two things. This your all parali business, parali burning. I have been suggesting that let us store it, baling it, and store it for the flood affected region when the cattle don't get fodder. Second one is about the water. Once upon a time, I had designed a filter so that the cattle can get some good quality water even by filtering that flood water. But somehow, since that was not my forte of providing the drinking water, basically I am man of the water management for the crops. So I didn't work on, but that my design is still lying in my workshop, and that can be used if someone is interested. Someone can modify it and use it not only for the cattle but even for the human also, by just putting up. I had shown it that you just put up some alum in that, and it will make it as clean as possible. Certainly not some microbiological that you have to boil it to get it more better quality water, but at least some water is available. And specifically that was usable by the cattle, because this is one major reason that cattle get contaminated water to drink during that period, and that affects their health in the long run.
Yes, sir. Sir, like the government is also providing some compensation fees for the livestock affected by floods, sir?
I don't think, I didn't come across. I was asking that. I told my one of the friend in that Misla Dairy Union. He told, "नहीं sir, बहुत कम है, कोई खास नहीं है." That he was telling.
Yes, sir. Sir, as you're an eminent scientist, sir, you have worked in this field a lot, sir. So we want to know what are more research areas which we can work upon, like as we are budding researchers here, so many, which can help us to think about in this situation, and we can help in some way.
What I am thinking mainly that where we can work, reduce the water requirement by using I had given 3. One of my talk was on the just find this. One of my talk was on the water positive. That let us utilize the wastewater. Let us increase the efficiency of the huge efficiency. Long back, about 20 years back, I was one of the speaker in one CII conference, and I told a normal person flushes his toilet at least 2 to 3 times for the latrine, and 3 to 5 times for urinal. Now, urinal, if you are flushing after the urinal, you don't need 1.5 liters of the water which is flushed. You need just some 250 to 300 liters of water, but we don't have any design of the flushing, your flushing latrines, which has got an option that, okay, you want to flush only by 200 ml of the water, or you want to flush by 1.5 liter of the water. Or earlier, our flushing were using 3.5 liter. If you remember, I don't know whether you remember those sort of the systems or not, when you had to pull up the chain. They were having in one go, they were having 6 to 7 liters of the water was getting wasted. Now it has been reduced to 1.5 to 1.75 liters. So this thing has to be that efficiency. The payment has to come for the efficiency. We don't have. So there is one, both for the crop, both for the personal usage, domestic usage, also for the industry, also the same thing. Industry has to, once the industry start putting up the cost to the water, industry will also come up with the efficient use of the water. Secondly, utilization of the wastewater. We can have around whatever water we use, about, say, especially in the domestic area, 70% water again goes as a waste. That waste, since if it is separated, segregated from the industrial area water, it can be easily cleaned and utilized for the our personal use. That you have to do. And rest is, as you said, when you are urbanizing, utilize all that runoff water which is clean a bit, clean it, filter it, because you don't need much to filter in that, and you recharge it. And the wastewater, which even if you don't want to use it in your urban areas, transfer it to the peri-urban areas, and then utilize the runoff, this your groundwater, which they are recharging. Recharge their area also, and then you make it that no, this area. I have got one article I had written on that if you have got an area, you restrict that. No, sorry, you are going to utilize only this much water. You have got only this much water available. You can't have more. You can't have. You cannot rub the pail and pay the Peter. You cannot do that. So that's important. We have to do for the water, and that is the area where my group is working. That how we can manage. I did it from my own campus. I got it calculated that how much water we are using, because we are only using the groundwater. I found that we are pumping around 228 hectare meter of the water. That means around 228 crore liters. If hectare meter may not be clear to the people, it is around 1 crore liter. So 228 crore. I asked my scientists to calculate how much we are recharging. Recharging was just 118 crore liter. So 110 crore liter you are pumping every year from the aquifer, which is because of that the aquifer levels are going down. I said, no, let us bridge this gap. We started efficient using. We were earlier pumping daily 8 hours for the domestic supply. We reduced it to 6 hours. We reduced by 25%, and nothing, you won't believe, nothing happened. Nobody complained that no, we are getting less water. Just we increase that efficiency. So we saved 25% of water supply in the domestic itself. I got all my farm conveyance system at the underground pipeline, a few on the sprinkler. So that saved another 25% to 30% saving. And then also we went for the recharge also. So now I think I have not calculated just now what is the position. I think we have already balanced that whatever water we are using, we are recharging also at the same time. And so our balance is, we are balancing the area. So that's our new area of the work, that you have to balance it, calculate the water balance of every administrative unit, and see how we can balance it if we reach on the deficit side.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So we are on the verge of ending this session. We have one last question, sir, from Mr. Bhaskar, that it is being said that floods in Kerala are due to the 70% of farmers that shifted from rice to rubber plantation. Sir, how this changes the cropping and will affect the crop cycle? And also, sir, because the water of that is being stored in the paddy field is now contributing the runoff. So what are your views on this, sir?
Yes, certainly. I have not studied that area, but what you say, any rice area, if it goes to some other crop, because the rice, you have do the bunding on all sides of your terrace, so that water remains there, and that contribute to the groundwater also at the same time to the, it reduces the runoff. So certainly when they are shifting from rice to the rubber plant, but why they have shifted? They have shifted because you are not paying sufficient money for the rice. Huh? So why to blame him only? He becomes the whipping boy for everything. Huh? We are still not paying. When I talk like this, I say, I started my career in 1978. You said 39 years, it is almost now. I will be completing 45 years of my service on 1st of February. So I say, so I remember still the price of atta was 1 rupee 60 paisa. And I was getting 1,000 rupees as a salary. My first salary was around 1,050 rupees that time. The person who is entering in the same grade now, he gets around 65,000-70,000. What is the price of atta? Maximum, even the branded atta is available, but even if you keep 30. So the price of atta has increased just by some 16 times or 17 times. and salaries have increased by 60 times. Now think of how it has become skewed against the agriculture. So our food prices have not grown that much, and although because our farmers have produced much more than what should have been the normal, but they are not getting their record, and they are becoming the whipping boy. Sorry, I may look a bit different from the normal, but that's my feeling.
No, sir. It's what like we were on the behalf of the Just Agriculture magazine and the society. We are elated and we are honored to have you, sir. We thank you for such a good information. Thank you so much for giving your precious time to us, sir. From all the participants here, everybody is appreciating your valuable time and thanking you, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for this.
Like mom, that thing just I will like to mention. Your name is Gulgul, na?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Huh. This is nickname of my granddaughter. So I was, when your name came, I said I should click it to my granddaughter. That no, look, there is one other Gulgul there. So nice of you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
For
Thank
giving
you so
this
much,
opportunity to talk to you all. It was a nice. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
No, sir.
Thank you, everybody. Now it's over to Dr. Khushbu for the next session, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
So thank you, Dr. Gulgul. Good evening, the galaxy of intellectuals, Your Excellency, dear participant. Well, I, Khushbu, shall be your host for this third session of 8th day of virtual international training come workshop. It's my pleasure and first and foremost duty on behalf of Just Agriculture e-magazine, CEO Dr. DPS Badwal and other collaborators to welcome you all. I assure you all that this event shall be full of exuberance, excitement, and will create some beautiful memories for all of us. It is rightly said that days are not lost when memories are created. So we feel honored to have Dr. Subhasisa with us. So sir did PhD in botany, Masters and Bachelor's in Botany from Utkal University, Bhubaneswar. His research aura is in area like rice biodiversity, functional genomics, transcriptomics, crop improvement, and biodiversity conservation. Presently, he joined as a national consultant, especially for organic farming at International Rice Research Institute, India office at New Delhi. He has been also associated with so many projects as research scientist and research associate. Some of the projects like dust characterization and field evaluation of rice and sunflower lines, DNA fingerprinting of rice and sunflower CMS line, fine mapping of yield enhancing QTLs for wild rice, abiotic stress tolerance and quality parameters in rice and wheat. He also acted as lecturer in Department of Botany, Utkal University. Sir also guided so many students, like more than 10 plus students in the field of botany, environmental sciences and biotechnology to help them in the dissertation work. He also published so many research papers in different international and national journals. Along with that, he has also written some of the book chapters. So now I would like to invite Dr. Subhasisa for sharing his valuable thought and experience on the topic regenerative agricultural practices and nutritional aromatic rice cultivation, multiple farmers' income. So, sir, over to you. Sir, am I audible to you? Sir, kindly unmute yourself, sir. So there is a technical issue. So participant, please be patient. We will be connecting with Dr. Subhasisa very soon. So, sir, I would like to invite you for sharing your valuable thought and experience on your topic, regenerative agricultural practices and nutritional aromatic rice cultivation, multiple farmers' income. So, sir. So participant, please be patient. We have some technical glitches, so we will be rectifying it. So, and soon we will be connecting with our guest. So, sir, can you start? Hello, sir, are you there, sir? Am I audible to you?
Yeah, Dr. Khushbu, you are perfectly audible.
Yeah, sir, you can start, sir. Now stage is all yours. You can share your thoughts.
No, actually, sir has not joined. I think there would be some kind of mic problem from his side.
Okay, sir, okay. So,
Right now it is again connected, but sometimes it is disconnecting without. So now you are clearly visible and audible, so you can start. Okay. Getting me? Hello.
yeah, sir, you are audible, sir. You are very much audible.
Okay. I'm so much thankful to Dr. She already introduced me. So can you please share my slide so I can go? I am so sorry, my Zoom network is not perfect here. Sometimes it is disconnecting from my side.
Okay, sir. So we will be sharing, sir. Just give us a moment.
Yes, please.
So again, participants got disconnected. So just be patient and we will be connecting him soon. Sir, just give give us a moment. We are just trying to share your slide.
I'm not coming. I don't know. Disconnecting and again.
So you can turn off your video.
Is it visible?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, yes, sir.
I'm so sorry today. I don't know, my Geo network is very poor.
No issues, sir.
Are you right now? It is audible.
Yeah, yes, sir. You are very much audible.
Myself, Dr. Subhasisa Bal, founder of Surya Seeds Research. And next, please. Just Dr. Khushbu already introduced me. There is no need to introduce myself. Next, please. My topic is regenerative agricultural practices and nutritional aromatic rice cultivation, multiple farmers' incomes. Nowadays, our PM talking about doubling up for farmers' income. Just 2015, I have started my journey, how to help farmers. I quit my job from New Delhi. So I came back to my native village, and from 2015, I have started organic agriculture. And first year I started the seed production. So whatever natural official procedure is there to produce seed, I followed, and 2 years I produced seed production. So I didn't get any difference or I didn't get any profit from that. So it is common everywhere throughout the India. It is very common. So how I thought it is not the right path. So hundreds of companies are there, so I can't compete. So I changed my concept towards regenerative agriculture and nutritional aromatic rice cultivation. It is a I thought it is a gap. So I overcome that gap. Whenever normal farmers producing rice seeds from 1 acre, they are getting near about 35 to 40,000 per acre. If a farmer is cultivating hybrid seeds, just he's getting 60 to 70,000 per acre. Just I changed one step ahead. I cultivated nutritional aromatic rice. I'm getting only 10 quintal per acre, but the value is near about to 1.5 lakhs per acre. You see the difference. So that I want to share how I shifted from normal cultivation to nutritional aromatic rice cultivation. I want to share that things. Please go ahead. All of you are welcome to this platform. This is the all of you know the global present scenario, what is going right now. Next page, you just skip because I have not shared any data or any research data here. Whatever things happening around the globes, I have just through photograph I can deliver my talk. Please go ahead. Next, please. Next slide, please. Hello.
Yeah, yes, sir. So we got stuck while showcasing the slides. So, sir, just give us a moment, sir.
Yes,
We'll be
yes,
sharing
please.
it.
Hello.
Yeah, yes, sir. We'll be sharing.
Any
Sorry.
problem is there? Any problem is there?
Yeah, yes, sir. We will be connecting soon, sir. We'll be sharing. Just sorry for inconvenience.
This is the very sometimes these things happen. So it is.
Sir, is slide visible to you, sir?
Yes, it is. You just skip that one.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Slide is not coming.
Yeah, wait, sir.
Can I share from my side?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, so you can share from your side. Actually, there's some kind of internet glitch from Rishikesh too. That's why.
Just give me some time because the time is moving. Can I share my slide?
Yeah, yes, sir. You may.
Wait, just give me time. You are in slide number 1. Are you getting?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yes. Same problem. Low. Okay. Is it visible to you?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yes. Just we are talking about the global scenario. What are the these are the present global scenario. Sometimes we are getting unexpected flood, drought, heat, and cold. These are affecting our cropping system around the globe. So there is no option. We don't have any option to control these things. So we have to face. So this is the present scenario of India. Throughout the India, every farmer burning their stubbles. So just 1 rupee is more than sufficient to burn 1 acre of stubble. But never he is thinking how he is killing his motherland. But no one is responsible for that. Just 1 rupee much is sufficient. Why he will spend 2,000 or 3,000 to collect these struggles? So no one is bothering about that things. So these are the consequences we are facing right now, because I have I think a very less number of time, so I have to skip. So these are the present situation. Can we save our kids? Whatever activities we are doing, or farmers doing around the country or around the globe. So these are the consequences of the near future. So you see, these things will happen. We have to face all these things. And every year we are adding a lot of polythenes to the earth. So right now it is coming to the food system. So I think it will be the final destination for all, as COVID and Omicron already arrived to the earth. So all of you our things. So we are giving a chance to arrival of Omicron and COVID. So just we are all responsible. We all are responsible for these things. So the global scenario changed 2 microbes. One is COVID and another new one is Omicron. But it is possible. It is not impossible things. It is possible. It is in our hand. If we need, we can change our motherland. We can save our motherland. We can save our child. We can save our new generations. So only thing is that if we go for organic agriculture, we can develop a strong immunity system. So we can save the total whole world. But we are not responsible that much to do these things. So everyone want to see her baby in the smiling face, but nowadays Omicron and COVID-19 changed the scenario. We all know every day we are eating herbicide, pesticide, weedicide, and a lot of neurotoxic chemicals, but we are not bothering for that. Whatever food we are getting right now, this is deficiency in vitamins, magnesium, selenium, zinc, and other vitamins, but we are not bothering for that. We need, at the end, we need high yield. That is the main problem. These are the common deficiencies found throughout the world among children. Iron deficiency is there, vitamin deficiency there, zinc deficiency there, and calcium deficiency is there. I think those are joined, all are about these things. Due to the deficiency in different vitamins or nutrients in our body, our people will get anger, they will not behave in normal way. But it is in our hand, but we are not bothering for that. Whatever we want, we are doing against the nature. You see, these things will happen. It is our future. It is our true future. Nowadays, we are getting 5 major diseases. One is cancer, another is obesity, third one is diabetes, fourth one is high BP, and fifth one is gas. Whenever you are going for a medical shop, doctor is recommending you have to take a gas tablet. It is common for every disease. Only due to application of higher doses of chemical in our farming system. So we need a healthy soil globally. Then all these things is possible. We can save our planet. We can save our children. We can save our new generations. Hello.
Yeah, yes.
I'm getting bored from this stuff. I never getting that much interest to deliver my talk, because I always feel online platform is a dead platform. If you are sitting in front of me, it is different. If it is behind the screen, it is different. So that's why I never I'm not feeling that much confidence to deliver my talk in that way. Just I'm skipping the seed. We need a healthy soil. So at the end, we have to go for the organic farming or regenerative farming, so that we can see our new generation in the happy phase, our old peoples in the happy phase. We have to do that. We need a happy planet, then it is possible. For everyone, we need happiness. Only for organic farming, we can go. Some little problem is there. We need a happy soil. If soil is happy, crop will be happy. If crop will be happy, farmers will be happy. If farmers will be happy, we'll get the healthier food, which is very much essential for everybody. I'm getting some problem in my screen. You see, these are nowadays some farmers following, but there is a big gap. Can we target this gap? Can it fulfill this gap? If our technology reaches to these people, this kind of people, then it will be successful. But 99% of agriculture following their traditional method. So there is a big gap in the agriculture system. We can't target it. It will take a lot of time to target this kind of people. It is a nature's gift. It is a God's gift. It is a azolla. It can give a nitrogen to rice crop. I'm talking about rice cultivation. So for 1 acre of rice cultivation, we need 30 to 40 kg of nitrogen. So for that nitrogen, we are always depend on chemical form of nitrogen. But there is no need. It is a God gifted. Azolla is a God gift to the rice crop. Just multiply the azolla and spread throughout the field. Automatically, it will grow. But no one is following that method because it will take time. So every farmer needs a shortcut route to get success. So why he will cultivate the azolla? He will transfer this azolla to the rice field. So never he will follow. Just simply he'll throw the chemical fertilizer so that he will get more yield. A farmer can make tanks and he can cultivate azolla, but he will not do that things. So in southern part of the country, azolla will come automatically in the rice and they are not applying any chemical fertilizer. That azolla gives about 30 kg of nitrogen, which is required for the rice plant. So you can make a azolla home to attract the farmers so that they can involve in azolla production, which is just a model. Apart from that, blue-green algae is there. It is known as a rice farm manager. So whenever you have any farming system or you have an office, you are hiring different kind of peoples and you have to pay money to them. But in a biological system, one organism is there that is known as blue-green algae. All of you know, but no one is using this BJ in their rice field, but it is a little bit difficult to multiply. But if you try, it can grow easily in your rice field. Just simply half kg to 1 kg of blue-green algae is more than sufficient for 1 acre. It can give near about 30 kg of nitrogen to the rice plant. And it has just a 60-day life cycle. After death of this blue-green algae, it will be a good food material for the other microbes like zinc producing microbes, potash producing microbes, sulfur producing microbes, calcium producing microbes. But we are not cultivating this blue-green algae in our rice field. Only below 1% of the farmers using this blue-green algae in the rice field. This is the model where we can multiply our BJ and we can transfer to different part of the country so that people can use this blue-green algae in their rice field. We can make our brand, BJ brands. So 1 kg BJ will be near about 50 to 100 rupees per kg. This is commonly known as the 𝘳𝘦𝘢𝘥𝘆 plant. It will also give nitrogen to the rice crop. Just 10 kg of 𝘳𝘦𝘢𝘥𝘆 seeds will give near about 30 to 40 kg of nitrogen. After death of the plant, it will be also a good material for other kind of organisms, like different kind of bacteria. They can eat the residue and they can give nitrogen, potash, phosphorus, calcium, magnesium to the crop. But just it is 5% of the farmers cultivating this 𝘳𝘦𝘢𝘥𝘆 in their rice field. We can make our soil healthy, like production of vermicompost and other natural fertilizers, but we are not producing this because it is time consuming. Farmers thinking it is a time consuming things. Simply they will purchase the urea, DAP and potash from the market and they will throw. This is the simply it is the agriculture. Every year we are collecting so many farmer manures, but just simply we are throwing here and there. We are not utilizing this FIM in our field. This is my hero, my father. I have two ox, and one is died due to some problem, and still one is with me because from last 7 years I'm keeping this ox with me. As he spent his energy in my agriculture field, and from his energy we got good foods, and apart from that he gave dongs from which we can produce pedal fertilizer, vermicompost, and natural gas for the cooking system. From the kitchen waste, we can also produce compost for our cropping system, but we are not following these things. Just we are skipping and we are throwing here and there. And through this is a natural source of compost. If you produce mushrooms from the mushroom spent, we can collect so much quantity of natural fertilizers, but we are skipping this system in agriculture systems. If you have a garden, in our garden, lot of leaves are falling, and we can collect that and we can make compost, and we can use this compost in our rice field, but we are not doing these things. Just simply we are skipping these things. And we can make a biochar from the leaf and from the stubbles and from the rice husk, but we are not doing these things because we have to spend time for that. We can also produce different insecticide, pesticide, and herbicide through organic farming method, but we are not doing these things because already it is time. We are thinking it will take our time. Simply there is a different kind of pesticides are available in the market. So why will produce and why will spend time to produce these things? So we are skipping these things. So whatever I learned from the lab, I implemented in my land, and from that land to my table, I produced a complete residue-free product. So that is completely pesticide-free, herbicide-free, weedicide-free, and chemical-free. So if every farmer will produce like that, our planet will be a beautiful planet, healthy planet, but we are not bothering for that things. Simply for a good agriculture or good organic agriculture practices, we have to follow this cropping system. Just go through the slide, you can understand. Just use the crop calendar so that you can't skip the different stages of the agriculture, but none of the farmer following the crop calendar. We need good quality of seeds, but times not getting good quality of seeds, and whatever seeds we have, we are sowing that seeds in our field, so that we are not getting the good yield. So selection of nutrient seed is very important. I already told, if you go for normal production, we'll just get near about 30 to 40 quintal, 40,000 of from 1 acre. If we'll seed nutritious aromatic rice seed, we can get near about 1 to 1.5 lakh of per acre. So for kg of so to transplant 1 acre of plant, we need 20 kg of seeds. If we will follow direct seeding method, we need 30 kg of seeds per acre. If we go for drum seeder, we need 25 kg of seeds per acre. But none of the farmers doing seed treatment. 90% of the farmers keeping this, so that in the future they will get the insect pest and a different kind of disease in their crop, and they will go for the pesticide spray, weedicide spray, herbicide spray. These are some modern techniques. If farmers will follow, he can save his money. But still 95% of farmers following the traditional method, like whatever I'm doing in this snap. So farmers will not accept any modern techniques. So he will think it is time consuming, it will expensive, I have to spend more money for that, and lack of awareness is there. So for that, farmers is not interested to accept the new techniques. This field is transplanted through rice transplanters, so that farmers can get higher yield, but farmers will go normal transplantation like that. So if you want a good yield, good amount of yield from your 1 acre of land, you can go for the diversity of rice. Instead of monocrop, you can transplant different kind of nutritional rice so that it will have a good market value. But we are not following that thing. So we are just simply throwing one type of seed in throughout the acres. So this is the technique. The first one for farmers like chemical fertilizer. Simply they will not go for the organic farming. So try to convince if you are already in agriculture system. Just first year convince him to apply 3 part of chemicals and 1 part of organic fertilizer. Second year, he will himself he will get good. He'll use half part of the chemical fertilizer and half of the organic fertilizer. The third year, he will get a good yield. He'll follow. He will use 3 part of the organic fertilizer and 1 part of the chemical fertilizer. And fourth year, there is no need to use chemical fertilizers. So there is a scale in my hand. It is known as a nitrogen parameter. So we don't know a standing crop how much amount of nitrogen needs. If a plant needs just 250 grams of nitrogen, we are throwing 1 kg, 2 kg, or up to 4 kg of nitrogen. It is just polluting the soil, polluting the environment, polluting the water, and polluting the air. But no one is bothering for that. And roguing, people nowadays, to control the weed, people are spraying a lot of weedicides to kill the weed. But there is a simple way. You can use this simple instrument and you can remove your weeds from the field. And if you need a good harvest, you have to rogue properly, and in the proper time you have to remove the unwanted plants from the field so that you can get a good seed. And if you follow this L1 is glue trap, it can attract different insect so that it can't spread throughout the field. You can use the pheromone trap to control the stem borers. You can use the T-shape to attract the birds. So it is known as bird fence. And these are the simple way you can control the insect pest from your field. But none of the farmers following these things. Simply they will go for spraying of weedicide, pesticide, herbicide, whatever things available in the market. If we follow the organic or regenerative practice of agriculture, you can get a nutritious food in your field, which will be near about 1 to 1.5 lakhs. If you are getting a good crop from your field, you can harvest. You can store it properly. You can go for your own brand. And from 1 acre, I already told, from 1 acre you can get multiple harvest. You can harvest, you can get your seed packet, you can sell them in the market. You can get a good nutritious rice, which will be near about to 100 to 150 per kg. If are cultivating black rice, you can sell this high anthocyanin rich husks, because people right now there is a lot of value for the anthocyanin rich husk. Many organizations is there, they are purchasing this husk from the market. You can same time you can also sell azolla to different companies. You can produce BGA from your field and you can package it and you can spread throughout the world. You can get money. And from the same field, some part you can leave for the sesbania seeds. From the 1 acre, you can get the seed, you can get the rice, you can get the husk, you can get the azolla, you can get the BGA, and you can get the sesbania seeds. So these things will give a lot of money from 1 acre, but we are not following these things. Simply we are cultivating rice and we are selling to the mandis in the normal MSP, which is in about to 1900 per quintal. You see that is a difference between the normal paddy, hybrid paddy, and nutritional rice. From normal seed, you'll get 30 to 45,000 per acre. For hybrid paddy, you'll get about 60 to 70,000 per acre. If you go for organic nutritional seeds, you'll get near about 1 lakh to 1.5 lakhs per acre. And you transfer all this technique to your new generation so that you can make a beautiful earth. But we are not following these things. At the end, we'll get a very nutrient-rich rice, which can save us from different kind of diseases like cancer, diabetes, obesity, gas, and other dangerous diseases. This is the end of the slide. Thank you. I'm not getting that much to talk in the online, but I don't know. Okay, let it finish. Any questions, please?
Yeah, yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for such an informative session. So now it's time for discussion and open interaction with our guests. So, sir, there are few queries raised by participant, and the first question
Yes.
is how biochar is different from charcoal, and is it really carbon negative?
Hello.
Yeah, yes, sir. Am I audible to you, sir?
Hello. Yes, please.
Yeah, sir. How biochar is different from charcoal, and is it really carbon negative? Am I audible to you, sir?
Hello.
Yeah, sir. Am I audible to you, sir?
Hello.
Yes, sir. Am I
Little bit
audible?
voice is breaking. I'm not getting.
Sir, now am I audible? Now am I audible to you, sir? Sir, am I audible to you, sir, now?
Yes, please.
Yeah, sir. So the first question is how biochar is different from charcoal.
Hello.
Sir, am I audible, sir?
I'm not getting you clearly. Some breaking voices are there, so that I'm not understanding what you are asking.
So, okay, sir. Can I repeat the question, sir? Sir, so now am I
Can you
audible?
message me? Can you message me so that I?
Sir, am I audible? Sir, am I audible now, sir?
Yeah, Dr. Khushbu, you are audible, but there is some problem from its side. I don't know what's it.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah, you can write questions on the chat.
Okay, sir. I'm writing. Sir, I have typed the question, but I am not getting any means whether sir is getting my message or not. Okay, participant, actually, we will be just sending the questions and your queries through mail to our guest, and he will be answering your question. And with this, we will be going to end the today's session. And so, thank you everyone for joining us today. We'll be again meeting tomorrow. Thank you.